everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Anne from the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Normally on our Tuesday videos you will see us either making something or giving you some behind the scenes footage of how we run our business. Today we are actually going to be doing book club, and I'm just going to show you 4 of my favourite soap making books and give you a little bit of detail on each one and what is included. And the reason we are doing this today is that it's been an exceptionally busy week for us. We've had a huge wholesale order come in and most of our time has been dedicated to getting that ready, which hasn't left us a huge amount of time for getting a video out today. And we didn't want to miss the Tuesday video, but we also didn't have a huge amount of time to put together a more involved video. So me sitting here chatting about my favourite books seemed like a kind of happy medium and something that hopefully might be useful to you guys as well. All the books that we are going to be talking about today can be purchased if you wish to purchase them by going through the links in our description. We have a UK link and we have a USA link, and that will take you to all of the books we are reviewing today. And if you do purchase through that link, please bear in mind they are affiliate links and we will earn a small amount of commission at no extra cost to you. But please be assured we are not just recommending books for the heck of it. We are only recommending the books that we actually own and that we actually use and find useful and enjoy. So let's get on to chatting about the books. So of the 4 books we are reviewing today, I would say 3 of them are going to be suitable for beginner levels and upwards, and the 4th is probably more suited to somebody who has had previous experience making cold process soap, but I will go into that one more when we actually get to it. The first book we want to review is Pure Soap Making by Anne-Marie Faiola, and I do hope I'm pronouncing her surname correctly. I've only ever seen it written down, so apologies if I've got the pronunciation wrong there. Anne-Marie Faiola runs Bramble Berry and she runs the Soap Queen channel on YouTube as well, and I really enjoy watching her videos and I enjoy reading her book, and we do purchase from Bramble Berry as well, because even though we are in the UK, we can get items shipped from Bramble Berry in the USA over here, and we've actually, I think, got a order due to arrive with us today, so hopefully that will be with us pretty soon. Anyway, the book, Pure Soap Making. Now what I love about this book is it is very tailored towards using natural ingredients in soaps. So she will give you recipes with essential oils and natural colourants and things like that. And it is also quite nicely tailored towards beginners. It does cover, let's flip it open and show you a couple of pages I have marked. It covers the whole soap making process and it goes into a fair bit of detail. So if you are new, it is definitely worth reading through the first few pages where she explains about oils and lye and things like that. And on the subject of oils, I also like the fact that there is somewhere a whole chapter dedicated to all the different kinds of oils that you can use in soap making. And it is a very kind of extensive chapter. There is a lot of oil information there and a lot of different oils that she has covered. I'm not going to show you them all, but the first page, alphabetical, takes you from apricot kernel down to coconut oil, and then there are a fair few more pages with lots of different oils on them. And then there is a section all about herbs and additives and kind of natural ingredients that you can add to your soaps to take them up to the next level, and she explains about how to actually use those additives, whether to infuse them, whether to pop them on the top of the soap. It will cover everything about that. There is also a section on designing your own recipes, and she goes into a little bit of detail about how to design your own recipes and how to actually first think about designing your own recipes, things to consider, things to take into account and things to watch out for when you are designing your own recipes. And there is, I say, a chapter dedicated to that. So if you are actually progressing from that kind of beginner level where you are following someone else's recipe and you want to actually kind of experiment with making your own, there is a nice chapter here all dedicated to that. And then towards the end of the book, there is a whole chapter filled with recipes that she has created. And they start from relatively simple recipes. So this one here is just for a comfrey and spirulina cube, which is a relatively easy recipe to create. But they go up in difficulty level, and the further you go through the recipes, the more involved they become. Let me find one that is slightly more involved. So yeah, if you move down towards the end, you've got a coconut milk swirl, for example, which is much more involved, but it takes you through step by step every kind of part of the process, and it is in a lot of detail, and she shows you, you know, how to kind of split up the colours, how to do the swirl, and it is very detailed, and that is what I love about this book, is kind of the level of detail that is gone into to actually kind of show you how to create these beautiful bars if it is the first time that you are creating something like this. So that is book number 1. Just a quick kind of review and guide on that one. This is one of the ones I do use quite a lot, just for inspiration. I don't tend to make the exact recipes that she has got in here, but I look at them and I tweak them and I use them for inspiration for our own designs. The second book that I want to show you today isn't about soap making as such, but it is about essential oils, and in fact it is just titled The Encyclopedia of Essential Oils, and it is by Julia Lawless. So that is that one there. And if you are making natural soaps and you want to be using essential oils rather than fragrance oils, which is what we did when we first started, it is really good to actually have some knowledge of essential oils, because some of them cannot be used on the skin or in cosmetics at all. Some of them could be harmful, some of them have high usage rates, some of them have lower usage rates. There is a lot of information that is important to know if you are going to be using essential oils in body products. And this book is a really good kind of starting point for actually learning about different essential oils. And then this one here, it begins just with a little chapter on aromatherapy and herbalism. And she takes you through where aromatherapy began and kind of the history of it a little bit, and then it moves forward towards herbal medicine and its use in the present day. Turning the page now. There is a chapter on the actions and application of essential oils within the body, and she covers all kind of different aspects of the body. So you have got essential oils for the skin, circulation, respiratory system, and again this does span over numerous pages covering every kind of part of the body and how essential oils can be used to treat different kind of different kind of conditions, I suppose, things like that. The next chapter covers how to use essential oils at home, and there is a little bit on safety in there and what you can do and how you should use them and how you shouldn't use them. But what I really like about this book comes with my next page turn, and that is the incredibly detailed list of all the different essential oils. And there are so many, starting with A, and there are some I have never even heard of on here, and it takes up a huge amount of the book. See, we're down to M, O, and I'd say this pretty much covers almost every essential oil there is probably available, because that big chunk of book there is all about individual essential oils. And if I open it up here to lemongrass, which is an essential oil that we use quite a lot and one of our favourite ones, it goes into a huge amount of detail. It will tell you what family it is in, it will tell you a general description of the actual plant that it has come from, where it is found, so lemongrass is native to Asia, other species, herbal and folk tradition, how it is extracted, the characteristics of it, the actions that it has. So lemongrass, for example, is an antidepressant, antimicrobial, antioxidant. The principal constituents, so for example the citral, which is obviously an allergen that you need to be aware of, safety data on it, how you would use it at home for aromatherapy. Yeah, So for every single essential oil, there is that much detail, and that is why I really like reading through this book, because it really does help to gain kind of an understanding of different essential oils and what they are used for and their benefits. And then towards the end of the book, there is a therapeutic index, and that just covers different kind of conditions. So for example, let's look at the top here where it says there is eczema, and it will tell you which essential oils can be used to treat different conditions. So for eczema, for example, you would want Melissa, Peru balsam, chamomile, myrrh, and it goes through loads of different kind of conditions. So greasy and oily skin, conditions of the digestive system. It covers loads basically, and it will tell you what essential oil it is a good idea to try and use for different conditions. And I find that pretty helpful, which is why I recommend this book. When we have been making blends for our body butters as well, we used this book quite extensively to actually work out what essential oils we were going to put into our body butters. And it helps with blends and things like that as well. So that is a good starter book on essential oils. So book number 3 is another from Anne-Marie Faiola of Bramble Berry, and this one is Milk Soaps. And this is the book where I would say it helps to have a prior experience of making cold processed soap. When you are adding milk into soap, there is a kind of learning curve that goes along with that. And it really would help if you do have actual experience of making just a simple, normal, regular, cold process loaf of soap before you start trying to experiment with adding in milk. However, if you are at the stage where you want to try experimenting with milk in soaps, then I would definitely recommend this book. This was given to me by my aunt and I love it. There are so many different recipes and different ideas that I hadn't even thought of. So taking a quick look inside this one, where shall we begin? So at the beginning there is just a section that takes you through the different kinds of milk you can actually use, which I found incredibly helpful because there were some I hadn't even thought of, and it does cover the kind of vegan options like coconut milk and nut milks as well. And it does also say you can use breast milk if you wish to. Not something I've ever done, and considering I have all the children I am likely to ever want, not something I'm ever really likely to do. But you know, if that's something you wish to do, it can be done. There is then a section on colour and scent and how to add different colours and different scents. And unlike the other Bramble Berry book that focused more on everything being natural, in this one some of the scents in the recipes are fragrance oils, but there are always essential oil alternatives given as well. So I love the fact that Anne-Marie has obviously thought that some people may not want to use fragrance oils, so she is giving you a choice. So there are fragrance oil options in the recipes and there are essential oil options too, which is something I really like about this book, is the kind of choice. So again, a chapter dedicated to adding colour and scent. And I'm not showing you too much on the insides of these books because obviously I don't think it's especially fair to the authors to be showing everything in their book. So I'm just showing you kind of an overview, and hopefully if you kind of like the overview, you may decide to actually purchase the book yourself if you think it's something that is going to help you. So jumping forward to the kind of recipes you can expect in this book. They are all obviously based on milk. And the first one here is a charcoal facial bar, and I like the way at the top it will state what kind of level you need to be at to kind of create that soap. So this is a beginner's recipe that Anne-Marie is giving us. And then we could jump forwards and we have got an intermediate recipe given here. So kind of mica lines and pretty colours. And then right at the end, we have got the more kind of advanced recipe with the lots of swirls and lots of pretty colours. And again, as before, she does kind of give a lot of detail in step-by-step instructions on how to actually create the design, and that is incredibly useful. So, although I enjoy very much the first 3 books I have shown you, I wouldn't be recommending them to you guys if I didn't enjoy them, by far my absolute favourite soap making book is this one here. This is Simple and Natural Soap Making by Anne-Marie Berry. And if I was told I could only have one soap making book for the rest of my life, it would hands down be this one. I absolutely love this book. It is the one I use the most often, and it is always the one that I will come to first if there is something I want to try out, or a new recipe, or something I just kind of want to query. It is always this book that I will turn to first. This is focused obviously on the natural soap making again, so you will find essential oil blends, natural oils, natural colourants, and also what I love about this recipe book for us personally is that she does not use palm oil in any of these recipes. This is a palm-free book as well, which for us is a good thing because we don't use palm, and if you don't use palm, then this is a good book to have too. Right, where can I begin with this one? There is so much I want to show you in this one. Obviously, at the beginning, she just gives you a chapter on how to start out. And much like the Bramble Berry books, this will cover things like lye safety, how to actually create a basic bar of soap, different oils, the kind of different oils you can get, sap values. It is similar to the Bramble Berry one in the way that it does cover the actual beginner's guide to soap making. And that is all covered down in part 1. Now part 2 gives you some very basic, simple recipes. And that's quite nice because she does give you the easiest recipes first. So if you are a beginner, you can start at the beginning of the book and you can just practice a little bit and try some relatively easy recipes until you kind of get a feel for what you are doing. Once you have a feel for what you are doing, you can move on. And what I love, another thing I love about this book, are you kind of getting the impression that I like this book? I do like this book. Everything is categorised into really nice chapters. So we have got soaps from the herb garden, and there is a whole section on soaps that you could create with ingredients from a herb garden. So for example, an oatmeal soap with dandelion. And then you jump forward to the next chapter and you've got soaps from the vegetable garden. And there are so many in here I want to try. There are loads. This is one I want to try, a carrot soap. So you can actually use homegrown carrots to create a soap. I haven't tried this one yet. I really want to try it. The next section is soaps from the farm. So this is kind of covering some of your milk soaps. Things like that. What have we got here? Yeah, so some goat's milk shampoo bars there. And again, I'm trying not to show you too much. I just kind of want to show you the chapter highlights. Soaps from the apiary, so anything kind of honey and beeswax based here. So orange and honey shampoo bars. Soaps from the forest. I'm kind of just trying to show you every chapter. I just love the way that this one is laid out. So a fir needle and mint shampoo and body bar there. And what I also like is that for this one, she has also got a shaving soap recipe. I really want to try this. I've bought the ingredients, but I haven't got round to testing it yet. But I really want to try a shaving soap, a dual lye, so we've got sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide in this one. When I have a spare moment in the next 3 or 4 years, then I'm going to give this one a go. And again, soaps from the spa, so the kind of things here, you've got a French clay and yoghurt soap recipe. Jumping forwards to the next chapter, if I can. Right, okay, so that's the end of the chapters. So there is then a hugely detailed section on natural colourants. This is 2 pages and it is just covering the kind of pinks. There is also yellows, greens, blues and kind of purples. And she covers how to achieve so many different natural shades using natural ingredients. And I find this section incredibly helpful when I'm actually trying to create our naturally coloured soaps. It is a huge source of inspiration. She also covers things like creating natural infusions, which we do a lot of. So this is very much geared towards the kind of natural soap maker who really does want to use lots of plants infusions, lots of natural colours. And if that is you, then this book, well, you'll probably love it as much as I love it, to be honest. And then there is a section on just creating some different kind of soap design. So you will have sections on how to create layers, how to create funnel pours, how to create tiger swirls, drop swirls. Perhaps not quite as much information in this book on swirls and things like that as that is in the Bramble Berry books. But there is a section on basic swirls and things like that. And there is also at the back a section on troubleshooting, which can be pretty helpful if you've had something go a little bit wrong and you're not quite sure why. So that is a brief analysis of my favourite one, definitely my #1 soap book. So those are 4 of my favourite soap making books. I have got another large stack of books just here, but we will save those for another day. Hopefully you have found today's video a little bit informative, and if you are new to soap making and are looking for books or guides to help you, hopefully this has given you just kind of a place to get started and a few to perhaps consider or look at. On Friday we will be back to soap making videos, and until then have a lovely week and we shall see you on Friday. Bye!